What's up everyone, Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California, and what we're doing today is a video about the fundamentals of the fastest of running a faster 40. And really what I want to go into is some of the things you're going to be getting within our faster 40 program, and just giving you a little bit of a better sense of what are some of the focuses that we put on it. So I really break it down into three main phases, and really that's just how they do it, and it's a smarter way to do it, because when you look at the split, there's a first 10-yard split, there's a 20-yard split, and then what's the overall 40. And so when we talk about the first 10, what's the most important part is going to be your overall transition time. And I mean, all of it ends up being step count. Okay, so how well are you able to maintain a good step count? So taking a good amount of steps for within that 10 yards, and that all depends on your height. We have a lot of videos that go into that. But then also, how fast can your legs going fast? So a lot of times we see guys that are up in the higher 0.3 seconds with their 40 or in their first 10 and their transition times, when really the elite guys are at 0.3 and under. Right, so there's a big difference between people that are actually able to have success in this first 10, because their ability to transition their transition time, or their time spent off the ground is under 0.3 seconds. Where if it's, once it gets into 0.35, 0.38, anything like that, now you're spending a lot more time there, which makes it so your numbers already go up. And if you're running 1.7 or 1.8 in this first 10, if you're running 1.8 in your first 10, there's 0% chance you're running a 4.5 overall. Okay, so you really got to be able to master getting a 1.6 here if you're looking to run 4.5 in that first 10. Next phase, and this is really the most important phase, is the next 20. And the reason I say that is because this is where we see the most amount of people fall off. Is that you can learn how to get a good start, you can learn to get the first 10 in 1.6, but it's really hard to get 2.7 or under in this next 20. Okay, and what ends up being the big thing here is postural alignment, or alignment in general. Okay, that ends up being the biggest thing, because now in the beginning, in the first 10, and not to say that alignment isn't important here, it's still an important thing. I'll still put alignment in this one. But when we talk about your ability to transition from a start where you're obviously your spine's down, it's all about moving your legs as fast as you can, where now you're starting to open up your stride a little bit more, you're starting to adjust your posture, you're starting to adjust your shin angles and your ability to take longer steps. Now there's a lot of things that are obviously being altered, and you still have to be able to run very, very fast, right? You still have to be able to get under 2.7 in that first 20 yards. So as your body's adjusting, you have to be able to still maintain a very, very specific number of contact times, time spent on the ground, and transition time, right? So even though your steps are now getting longer, you still have to be able to spend the same amount of time off the ground and the same amount of time on the ground. So you have to be able to build up your power and your strength really in these first 10 in order to be able to maximize the next 20. The last part, the top end speed, is really, that goes back into step count. Being able to maintain that same transition time, contact time, but really for your height, you got to be able to take up a large amount of space in each one of your steps. What ends up killing people here in this last 20 is that they just don't take enough steps. They start to get going, they get going faster, and they can be moving fast, but they don't end up getting a really good time, and it's just because they don't know exactly where they need to be in terms of their step count. So if you need to finish in 20.5 steps, if you're about 5'11", then you have to finish in 20.5 steps. And so if you end up finishing in 21.5, now you end up going, that's the difference between running maybe like a 4.6 to running a 4.8, right? It's just being able to get in within the right time shift. This last 40, or when it comes to the step count, for every 0.5 steps, that's a 1/10 of a second. Okay? So every half of a step, I can maybe go like this, half step equals 0.1 seconds. Okay, so you got to be able to really understand what your step count is, when you're maximizing when you get into that last 20, so then you know where you end up finishing, okay? Here, I mean, all of it is also important here as well. Obviously, alignment, contact time, that's how you understand it. But we want to be able to see, okay, what's most important? What are going to be the fundamentals? For here, the big fundamental is being able to work on that transition time. That seems to be the biggest differentiator between people that succeed there and don't. The next thing is here, for the 20, the biggest thing is going to be your postural alignment. The people that are able to succeed are able to very well transition from, you know, this start posture to start to get into more of a drive and get a more upright posture while maintaining contact time, while maintaining transition time, while building speed still, right? This is still a building speed part of the movement. Okay, the last part is the top end speed, where now it's all about the steps. You got to be able to master your steps. Your turnover should be optimized now. Your contact time should be not optimized now. It should all be really working together in order to generate and achieve the highest level of performance. Alright, so just wanted to make this video just so you get an understanding of how I break down the 20 and what's most important when going through, you know, our breakdowns and things like that. I thought it would be good for you to get some more information on this just so you can, you know, make an educated decision on the 40-yard dash program that we're doing. I think you're going to get excellent results if you be a part of it, just because, you know, I really don't see anybody really breaking this down like how we're breaking it down. And the further we go into it, the more information you're going to end up getting as a consumer. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to hear from you, and we'll talk to you soon.